15 lakhs, and it is around 1.5 million and above. And this has gone with a great friendship between South Africa and India because of the many Indians settled in South Africa. Our Honorable Prime Minister, His Excellency Narendra Modi ji has visited the place of Phoenix where the movement of the non-violence has been initiated in the South Africa, and where Mahatma Gandhi Ashram has been constructed, and the Phoenix settlement to pay homage to Mahatma Gandhi. He was accompanied by the granddaughter of Mahatma Gandhi, Mrs. Ayala Gandhi, the granddaughter of Mahatma Gandhi. On July 9, 2016, he has visited that place. Before that, Honorable President Pratibha Bharati on Sunday, May 6, 2012, visited the Phoenix settlement, found Mahatma Gandhi in 1904 on the northwestern edge of Durban to experience the Satyagraha, Sarvodaya, Ahimsa, and everything has been started from that particular area. It was here Gandhi first used three principles of champion the cause of mind and sugarcane workers, liberation of women, and fight against alcohol. Mrs. Patil saw an exhibition on the Mahatma's life, offered floral tribute at his bust, and visited Sarvodaya, where Mahatma stayed for much over 21 years. He spent in South Africa before returning to India in 1915. He has come back to India, and till then he has stayed in South Africa. The President of India later observed that Sarvodaya still seems to be pervaded with the passion and serenity which characterized Mahatma Gandhi here. The Phoenix settlement was set up to put up into practice the values which he followed and preached for the rest of his life: self-help, dignity of labor, and simplicity. Gandhi taught us to fear no one and against injustice and exploitation. The journey of Mahatma Gandhi in South Africa and origin of Satyagraha, I just wanted to mention you. Before leading the Indian freedom movement, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi used to live in South Africa to fight against injustice and class division. Within 10 years, Gandhi propagated the philosophy of Satyagraha there and propelled the country towards a no class or ethnic discrimination society. And he was attracted the whole world to look at him. During his stay at South Africa, whole world actually looked at him. And it was one of the model agitation wherein non-violence and Satyagraha is the whole world actually has been taught by Mahatma Gandhi ji. Gandhi arrived in Durban aboard by SS Safari in 1893. In no time, Gandhi became the leader of South African Indian community. Few years before only the Indians were actually reached there, started coming there, and they were ill-treated in a very horrible way. So Gandhi has observed that within few years, he has become the leader of Indian community. His involvement in non-violent movement in South Africa had made such an impact that even now he is looked up to as a leader there. Even now he was considered as leader. From 1893 to 1914, Gandhi worked as an attorney and a public worker. In a meeting in New Delhi, Gandhi said he was born in India but was made and he was tuned in South Africa. So, but all these things are huge impact in South Africa and later in India has become the Gandhi Mahatma for our country and also Jatipita for our country. So, the arrival of Indian indentured laborers in South Africa, the first ship in the year November 16, 1860, with Indians of 354 passengers reached the South Africa, and they were actually as laborers because they are frequently abandoned. The South African laborers are frequently abandoned work to return to their kraals. It is traditional huts. The solution proposed was to bring labor from India by the British government then, because it was felt that Indians would be committed, dedicated, disciplined, and hardworking. Even that days also Indians are known to be committed and disciplined. Over next 50 years, 200,000 Indians arrived at Natal as an indentured contractual laborers with a few merchant class Indians. supervisory class arriving from India and Mauritius. The discipline and hard work of indentured laborers is reflected in the value of sugar exported from Natal, steadily increasing from 19,415 worth of British pounds in 1880. It has crossed 215,194 British pounds in 1880 itself. This is the gold mine of the colonial Indian population, where actually they have settled in South Africa and they worked for the development of South Africa, and they've really been helping the country to develop. The struggle during this process, Indians were actually been struggling like anything. The struggle to live and work for Indians in a foreign land is a very pathetic, merciless, and the promise of better life for the new arrivals and good living condition was not evident. The laborers and their families were mistreated by their employers and lived under inhumane conditions without any mercy. Working long hours in the searing, extreme hot climate conditions, in Natal climate, they were working for many long hours. They also faced repressive and injustice legislation, and even they have to carry their passes wherever they go, and they were not being freely moved in the whole country. And you can see the huts where they are living in a very pathetic condition. They are living for many years. They were not given any kind of facilities and opportunities for them. These pathetic conditions are continued for many years. The courage personified, the wonderful, inspiring courage demonstrated by these pioneers to leave behind all that they were familiar with and undertake a long and strenuous journey across the sea to an unknown world had to be greatly admired, as it looked level of tough situations and determination that is greatly understood. They have been traveling many days in ship. Nowadays we are going by flights in 16 hours or 18 hours. But those days they have traveled almost months together and living together with living their families, and no proper food, no proper care, and no kind of facilities, and they were treated like slaves. That is the pathetic situation of Indians during that particular time. Even the Indians' situation in India and abroad, where the people were carried and transported as slaves, there it was a very pathetic situation. During the first 2 decades in Natal, there are many recorded instances of the callous inhumanity, no humanity displayed to them by their employers, and they were treated inhumanly. They lived lives of great struggle in their new home, but this never deterred them from living their lives in the best way they are known. Even then, they were maintaining their solidarity as Indians. No caste, no creed, no community, no religion. All are Indians. This is the slogan of Indians in South Africa. And even Mahatma Gandhi also has given the same slogan and message that there should not be any caste between you. There should not be any kind of religion differences, any community differences. You are all one. By 1910, nearly 26.85% indentured men returned to India. I was mentioning you in the beginning. But still 75% people prefer to stay back and are forebearers of present-day South African Indians. This picture shows the strong desire of the pioneers to proudly maintain their culture, Indian culture, traditions and heritage. This desire has endured for more than 150 years, with South African Indians maintaining their culture proudly and strongly. Even whilst holding on their culture, Indians still became masters of the English language, an incredible achievement, and was a totally foreign language to them, and English they have learned so much. Injustice to Indian labor. Following the legislation was passed to curb the mobility of trading rights, settlement patterns, martial choices, and educated access of South African Indians. They were not given even admission in high schools. And in the early 19th century, the Republic of Transvaal, and wherein actually the sugarcane industry and gold mine industries are there, and Orange Free State passed laws barring Indians from entering into the state. South African Indians were denied right to vote, to own land, and operating business was virtually impossible there. Against this backdrop, the stage was set for the emergence and intervention of one of the greatest souls of the world has known, that is none other than Mahatma Gandhi. Already Jyoti Kumar was mentioning about ill-treatment of Mahatma Gandhi. Brutality to Mahatma Gandhi coincidence during that time. Mahatma Gandhi was thrown out of the train in South Africa. Upon his arrival, almost immediately Gandhi experienced the brutality of racism. When he was thrown off a train in Pietermaritzburg on his way to Transvaal, even though he was in possession of first-class ticket, he was told that coolies, a derogatory and racist term for Indians, because they used to call all Indians as coolies that time. And because he was also from India, he was also being called coolie and were not allowed to mix with the white people in first class. He would experience even more racism when a white conductor assaulted him on the same journey. These were defining moments in his life, an eye-opener for the young lawyer. Gandhi's arrival coincided with the growing level of anxiety and insecurity amongst whites at the upward mobility, economic and educational advancement of Indians in the merchant class group. Gandhi was the only lawyer first time among the Indians, and thereafter there was another lawyer also as practitioner there. Civil disobedience lead to satyagraha, and that is the truth force. The civil disobedience lead to satyagraha. This is the generation, the place of satyagraha which has been generated there. And Gandhi has got influence of several philosophers, several people, and one of them important person is influence of American philosopher Henry David Thoreau on Gandhi. It was around that time that young lawyer who continued to encounter the draconian laws, that is, which are very harsh laws, that Transvaal Indians lived at that place were being subjected to start studying the teachings of American philosopher Henry David Thoreau. In particular, his writings on civil disobedience. Civil disobedience simply means that if the law is unjust, when you are ethically bound to get yourself arrested, the philosophy became the roots of Gandhi's satyagraha, truth force, inspiring peaceful resistance to change that which is unjust. The first time Gandhi officially used satyagraha was in South Africa beginning in 1907 when he organized opposition to the Asiatic Registration Law. The Black Act. Gandhi was jailed in South Africa, and he was among the many other protesters was also in jail. That many, and they spent in the jail along with the Gandhiji. One of the finest, Jyoti Kumar was also referring that Gandhi has run two important newspapers, creating community awareness, a spirit, motivation, and national identity of the group of people. The only way to do that is communicating through newspapers. Gandhi has started in jail a newspaper called Indian Opinion. The Indian Opinion was a newspaper that Gandhi conceived to consign, that is, people to concise, aware of that, and mobilize Indians to fight back against the injustice being perpetrated against them. This was the first Indian newspaper published in Natal, and it played a major role in organizing Indians and sustaining their campaigns. It also played a very significant role to foster the ideas of Indians, united Indian community and a national identity. The whole world is looking about Indians. Whole world is looking after South African Indians. The significance of this is keenly felt today through the strong identity and a united purpose that South African Indians still possess that, and they are continuing the same strongness even today. The spirit of resistance and unity bore fruit when proposed legislation to deregister Indians as voters and was not sanctioned in 1894, even after Gandhi delivered 100,000 things to Lord Ripon. London, who was Secretary of State for the colonies, not materialized. 10,000, sorry. Indians used to speak with one voice all the time. Even today, it is being continued in South Africa. But India has to learn so many lessons from many people. Now we have so many states, so many ethnic groups in India, but we are not maintaining this kind of integrity in India. Though Gandhi has led and spent his whole life in India, it has not been followed. The Indian opinion especially highlighted the poor conditions under which indentured laborers worked, informing and building a united resistance. This was by no means easy to accomplish, since Indians were divided by religion, caste, class, and even Indian regional affiliations. This was a major victory for Gandhi, and in one of the enduring legacies that he bequeathed to South African Indians. To this day, Indians have retained this identity to remain united and steadfast in their opposition to injustice and unfair practices. They are united even today. And women were motivated. You just see this photograph. One of them was pregnant, and other 6 of them had babies in their arms. But this did not stop them to join in the movement. One of the most stirring chapters in Indian resistance in South Africa politics was when Indians endangered women brought their immense strength and courage to the trenches of resistance. Gandhiji has got a feeling that when women are in the forefront, any agitation cannot be defeated. This is the Gandhi's belief. In the many campaigns fought, they suffered the same fate as men by being beaten, put in the jail, and as hard labor. Gandhiji has played these particular feelings and always keep the women in forefront. The founding father of the National Indian Congress, Natal Indian Congress has been started. The unjust laws passed to hinder the progress of Indians in Natal and Transvaal would form the ideal breeding ground of Gandhiji to unite and aware of Indians to peacefully resist it. He was instrumental in forming Natal Indian Congress on 22nd August 1894 to create a united front and consolidate all campaigns against the unjust laws. The Natal Indian Congress has profoundly favored distinction of being the first political organization to be formed in South Africa. The Transvaal Indian Congress was formed thereafter as the precursor for all other informations of resistance to injustice and apartheid. The formation of the NIC was a critical stepping stone. And history proudly records that Gandhiji struck this first powerful blow of South Africa against oppression. Indeed, he set a new course for the destiny of South Africa by setting into motion the struggle against the injustice to Indians. The Phoenix settlement of Mahatma Gandhi. June 2nd, 1906, Mahatma Gandhi moved to Phoenix and started his activities in Phoenix farm. You see how people are actually following him to reach when he is going to Phoenix. Phoenix is a settlement considered as historic incident in South Africa. Gandhi lived there. And in June 1904, Gandhi established a communal living community called the Phoenix Settlement in Inada. Inada is also the area of our organization to teach people to live community and detach themselves from the material possessions. The operations of his newspaper, Indian Opinion, were also moved to this settlement. It was during this time he spent at the settlement that Gandhiji formulated most of the strategies. This is called actually the Satyagraha birthplace. Why? Because he has formulated all the strategies from this place. And philosophers that were instrumental in his greatest social and political victories. You can see the house of where Gandhi has lived there. It was now moderated and recently renovated. Thus, God laid the foundations of my life in South Africa and sowed the seeds of the light for national self-development. Satyagraha movement in South Africa in 1906 organized from Phoenix. He has united the people, all Indians, and several thousands of people were actually been called for several agitations. You can see the many photographs where Mahatma Gandhi has started his non-violence Satyagraha movements and protested against the injustice to Indians. The National Indian Congress and the contribution of Indians in the struggle against apartheid. The the apartheid is the racial discrimination has been protested. Apartheid is nothing but racial discrimination. The 1930s and 40s, we saw the emergence of two giants of the Congress movement, Dr. Monty Naicker and Dr. Yusuf Dadu in Transvaal. A deadly blow was struck against oppression and injustice in 1947 when a united Congress movement was born with a record of unity, solidarity, and understanding being signed by the NIC and TIC and the African National Congress, represented by its President General A.B. Joma. This historic movement became the Dadu Juma Naicker Pact of 1947, which has started this mainly fighting against apartheid racial discrimination. Waliamma, the first martyr in freedom struggle at South Africa, who lost her life, was the first martyr of the freedom struggle launched by Gandhi. She died shortly after serving a term of imprisonment as a passive resistor. Gandhi wrote of her, Waliamma, a bright, brave, and attractive young woman with a surprisingly mature political consciousness in defiance of an unjust law that forbade Indians. And from entering Transvaal, resisted. You had the will, and that will dare and to die. The South Africans salute her today as a hero and pay homage to her, the thousands of brave women who made great sacrifices for the freedom fight. Other prominent two women, Navneetam Pillai and Fatima Mir. Navneetam Pillai is one of the Human Rights Commission member, and she organized many movements, and along with Gandhi organized, and she was a UN High Commissioner, and she was also worked as the legal services in charge, and she is also played a very crucial role. And Fatima Mir was the one of the Indian passive resistance campaign, and she was appointed the first Indian lady, that lady was appointed as a faculty at African University, and she remained on the staff of Natal University until 1988. She declined parliament seat also, and she doesn't like, and she wanted to be in the public movement, and lifelong she worked, and she has written several books, 40 to 50 books, and spoke about against the country's apartheid policies or that racial discrimination of the people. These are the two women who has played crucial role along with Mahatma Gandhi. Leela Gandhi, the granddaughter of Mahatma, too engaged herself in achieving rights to Indians in South Africa, even today. National Indian Congress, 125 years old, active and fearless participant in 1952 defense campaign. Ms. Leela Gandhi, the granddaughter of Mahatma Gandhi, has fought against injustice of most of her life. In 70s, she served as vice president of the National Indian Congress. Like her grandfather, she has never wavered and remains a beacon of hope for all South Africans to this day. She has been instrumental in organizing the annual commemoration of famous Salt March through the streets of Durban. Pictured here at a commemoration of the NIC to her right, Sri Pravin Gordhan, the current Minister of Public Enterprises, also pictured third from right, Paul David, another stalwart of the Congress movement, who passed away recently at the age of 79. A defiance campaign against racial discrimination. In as much as South Africa contributed to the development of Gandhi's philosophy that changed the world, whole world is looking after Mahatma Gandhi, and South Africa had profound effect on the consciousness of the Indians in South Africa. The defiance campaign in 1952, spearheaded by Indians, bears a perfect testimony to this and was a seminal campaign that shook the political landscape of South Africa, making the oppressors sit up and take notice like never before, paving the way to end apartheid segregation of the basic on the basis of race. Gandhi teachings, especially Satyagraha, played a huge role in conceiving this campaign and ensuring its effectiveness of peaceful resistance. Indeed, his guiding spirit could be found throughout the duration of the campaign. South African and especially Indians remember the lessons and remain committed to this day to all his values and teachings. Nelson Mandela finds many Indians alongside him in the trenches. Outside court, Nelson Mandela with Dr. Naicker and Dadu, thinking that Madiba would become a very close to many Indians to the struggle, realizing that even though there were so few Indians in South Africa, there were principled and courageous opponents of the apartheid system and punched away above their weight and started working along with Indians. Liberation heroes at the end of the journeys. Almost the journey is coming to end, and the freedom movement has been very successful by after several years. A large part of Mandela consciousness was formed in the company of Indians in the struggle. Indeed, its closest confidants and comrades are fellow liberation heroes like Billy Nair, Ahmad Katroda, Lalu Chiba, all three pictured here, Mac Maharaj, Ismail and Fatima Mir, among us many others who are the followers of Mahatma Gandhi, who played a crucial role in liberation and freedom fight. The racial discrimination is so horrible that the colonial authority of the various parts of the South Africa were not even allowing Indians to have the education. Indians were denied education, and an innate spirit of advancement and improvement for any community that was denied to Indian children. As a community, Indians rallied together and raised funds to build their own schools, Indian schools. Their goal in uplifting their social and economic condition is to make it possible for subsequent generations to surpass their achievements. Shastri College, named after Srinivas Shastri, the first agent general of South Africa, became the pioneering center for secondary and tertiary education, acting as the precursor to the University of Durban, West Village. This natural tendency of Indians to refuse to sit back and expect other authorities to provide educational facilities for them, but roll up their sleeves and do it. Secondary and education in South Africa. This is admirable trait is spoken of throughout the South Africa with the deep admiration. Whole country has admiration for Indians and also whole world. This was the Constitution Hill, which was a jail during that moment where Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela were imprisoned and together, and now it was a constitutional court in South Africa. South African Indians are not actually the freedom fighting people. They are also very humanity. They are people with humanity. They are people with service orientation, and they stolen the heart of the people of South Africa by their service, by their commitment. Mahatma Gandhi has built a common trait among South African Indians is an imbued spirit of compassion and giving to others, inextricably linked to values gleaned from their respective faiths. Gandhi's lessons have most definitely been carried through to each generation. And Indians are at the forefront of many highly successful charitable initiatives in South Africa. Many of the most vulnerable in our country have found food, shelter, healthcare, and refuge in these organizations, some of which are listed below. Ramakrishna Center of South Africa, the Gift of the Givers Foundation, and Mahatma Gandhi was worshipped as a god. You can see in the center place of Durban city, Gandhi's statue you can see in the bottom. In the front side, Gift of the Givers. In the first, the vendor is the Indian vendor is giving service to the people. The friendship of South Africa and India is a shared identity. South African Indian origin comprise heterogeneous community distinguished by different origin, languages, and religious beliefs. The contribution they have made to country that is now home to them is enormous when one considers them as a numerical block. South African Indians have reached the pinnacle of most endeavors, be it educationally, in business, professionally, on the sporting field, and local and international struggles for justice. They have added color and nuance to the southern tip of Africa that will last for all eternity. Even the famous cricketer of South Africa, that I think his name is Dadiwala, I forgot his name, Rashmi or something. He was the first South African to score 300 runs in Test cricket of South Africa. He was also Indian origin person. But South African Indians will always retain a cultural and social connection to India, which will always remain their motherland, and nothing can deny them their rights. Just see here how this is a history. before India. Mahatma Gandhi was in India before going to South Africa. Gandhi was born in 1869. Gandhi has reached South Africa, and he was thrown out of train from Durban to Pretoria in 1893. Gandhi arrived to fight. Gandhi came to South Africa first time to fight against Dadabhai case in 1893. Gandhi goes to London, study law in the beginning. So actually, I'm just a little bit confused. Here, Gandhi, after born, he has been grown here, and he has gone to London to study law. And after that, he came to South Africa, and he has came for a case, fighting a case. And after that, he has started by agitation, Transvaal March, and to fight against the diamond workers and other workers. Know that movements he has. This is just to show you everything in one nutshell. And the Phoenix settlement established by Gandhiji near Durban in 1904 was formally reopened in February 27, 2000 by the present president of South Africa and the Zulu King Goodwill, and many other leaders were there. So this was actually the march towards Natal to Transvaal, and sugar plantation workers in Durban march, and Smart Orders Inquiry Commission for the violence and the non-violence movements and Satyagraha movements, and Indian Marriage Act were declared invalid. Immigrants bill with 3 pounds poll tax was implied on the Indians. All these are actually happened. This is one cycle of happenings, and this is what I just wanted to show in nutshell. And because of his movements, commitment, and he has been in South Africa itself, Mahatma Gandhi has become Mahatma, Mohandas to Mahatma. We must become the change we want to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi, 160 years ago, this year, Mahatma Gandhi, Karamchand Gandhi left South Africa for India. He arrived as an awkward, shy young barrister, but found in South Africa and in the Indian community fight for equality, his voice and path that changed the world. President Nelson Mandela once said the visit to India, you gave us Mohandas. We return him to you as Mahatma. So this is what actually the slogan from Nelson Mandela. After reaching, I just wanted to go because I have taken already reasonable time. I don't want to go for much time. These are actually Mahatma Gandhi's Satyagraha journey in India. Indian rebellion, 1857, before Mahatma Gandhi, it has happened. And formation of Congress, 1885, it was also happened before Mahatma Gandhi comes to India. Civil disobedience in 1918, partly before, after Mahatma Gandhi has started his journey in India, it has been started. Salt Satyagraha, Mahatma Gandhi played a crucial role, revolutionary movement, and it has also been started by crucial role played by Mahatma Gandhi. Quit India movement, 1942, independence, finally to independent India. Indian rebellion, the Sepoys led by Mangal Pandey revolted against the British use of animal fat in cartridges. That was before Mahatma Gandhi. And other popular movements in India, Kaila movement, it actually caused non-cooperation movement, because non-cooperation is the mainstream here. Mahatma Gandhi has taught the whole world non-cooperation. During the World War in Turkey against Sultan, the protest started against Britain, Indian Muslims. Caliphate movement was started by all Ali brothers in India. And Rowlatt Act, it was against Justice Rowlatt in UK, bill arresting any person without warrant, questioning, also been arrested in seclusion, etc. That particular act is saying that act was also non-violent movement has been started against the Rowlatt Act. Jallianwala Bagh, April 30, 1999, in protest against the arrest of Saifuddin Kichau and Satyapal, people gathered in Jallianwala Bagh, Amritsar. General Dyer opened fire after closing the exit and killed about 1,000 people, many injured. And this was Jallianwala Bagh tragedy has been taken place. So it's the same. And afterwards, those the prominent movements are Simon Commission movement. In November 1960, the British government appointed a Simon Commission. It was headed by John Simon to suggest some more constitutional reforms. It had been 7 British members of parliament and had no Indian member. Indians thought that it was intentionally done. So that was also one Simon Commission against movement. And declaration of Purna Swaraj, Congress gave ultimatum to the British government to accept the Nehru report by the end of the 1929 or to face a mass movement. And the 1-year time limit passed without any positive response from the British. Nehru report was declared lapsed at the Lahore session in 1929. Jawaharlal Nehru was made as the president of Lahore session of Congress in 1929, and Purna Swaraj was declared as the objective of Congress. And the Dandi March, launch of civil disobedience movement in India. Gandhiji began this historic march from Sabarmati Ashram on 12th March 1930 and reached Dandi, a village in Gujarat, on 6th April 1930. He picked up some salt and violated the salt laws imposed by the British. He selected attacked salt tax because it affected all the sections of the society, especially the poor. By breaking the salt law, Gandhiji launched the civil disobedience movement, and first roundtable conference held in London was that Congress was unhappy with Simon Commission and hence boycotted the first roundtable conference. Second roundtable conference, September 7, 1930 to December 1, was held at London. As per terms Gandhi Union Pact, Gandhiji attended the second roundtable conference. However, he found that all communities were interested to get separate electorates, and the question of independence was kept aside. So, and British refused to immediately grant dominion status of India. Gandhiji returned disappointed. And impact of civil disobedience movement, tide of nationalism had shaken the British government. The ban of Congress was removed in 1934. Participation from all sections of society, including shopkeepers, workers, merchants, joined the freedom struggle. Threat of nationalism across the nation, people followed non-violence, social reforms, and for that there is the men and women who went around towns and villages singing patriotic songs in the early morning became popular. Children participated through Monar Sena, and girls formed as Manjari Sena. Handwritten patrikas or news sheets were distributed whole country. And the appearance of Gandhiji, it was the first time that Gandhi appeared on the scene. His main contribution was non-violent revolution and satyagraha. He believed in truth, non-violence, and love for fellow human beings. Gandhi launched the salt satyagraha, starting his march from Sabarmati Ashram to the Dandi. Gandhi satyagraha main emphasis is satyagraha, mass movement, non-violence, Swadeshi. Avoid the foreign goods on these methods, and he has included and succeeded in that. Dandi Salt March, act of protest against British salt tax. Gandhiji and followers walked from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi. The march was 200 miles long. March lasted about a month, and Gandhi's tactics employed non-cooperation, non-violence, and peaceful resistance as his weapons in the struggle against the British in Punjab. Jallianwala Bagh massacre civilians by British troops caused deep trauma to the nation, leading to increased public anger and acts of violence. Gandhi criticized both the actions of the British Raj and retaliatory violence of Indians. When he was arrested, he continued his non-violent protest through hunger strikes. Non-cooperation movement, foreign goods were boycotted, liquor shops picketed, and foreign cloth burnt. Merchants and traders refused to trade in foreign goods. Quit India movement, Mahatma Gandhi started the Quit India movement. Congress passed the Quit India movement in 1942. And Quit India movement, during the Quit India movement, Mahatma Gandhi declared, I want freedom immediately. This very night before, dawn if it can be had. Gandhiji, Nehruji, and thousands of supporters were imprisoned, and the Indian National Congress was outlawed. And homage to people behind India's freedom. There are many people before Mahatma Gandhi, and they were actually fought against Indian freedom, independence. Mangal Pandey in 1856, Sipai Mutini, Lakshmi Bai, Rani of Jhansi in 1858, and prominent leaders such as Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, many ordinary Indians who sacrificed their lives and careers. So we'd love to read today. This was the slogan. And finally, the India got independence. When India got independence, Lord Mountbatten was saluting the Indian flag. This was the figure. And India got free on 15th August to commemorate the end of British rule and its birth as a sovereign nation on that day. I just wanted to say that Mizoram and Gandhi's mythology, ideology. Mizoram is one of the states which is known for peace, and it is truly following the Gandhi's ideology, and it is been proved as the #1 state in the country as the most peaceful state. Even during Satyagraha, even strikes, even agitation, they do very peacefully, hours together, sitting without any slogans. This is one photograph which is showing that they're making Satyagraha. A woman can roam at midnight, 12 o'clock also alone. Nowhere in the country women can walk in except Northeast. and Mizoram women can walk at midnight, 12 o'clock also very freely. Gandhi's ideology, Gandhi's views are actually been followed in Mizoram, and it is a dry state, no liquor, peaceful demonstration for any agitation. You can see on the top right. And even during the COVID-19, receiving and helping migrant labor, they are receiving all the people and helping them to get into settled. This is what actually the Mizoram has been following. And even during the perfect lockdown, the controlling the COVID-19 spread in a perfect manner by forming the local task forces. And this was a true state where Mizoram, I wanted to share my feelings, though Mahatma Gandhi never visited Mizoram. Mizoram is one of the role model for Gandhi's ideology to implement. Mahatma Gandhi was not only respected in India or South Africa, Mahatma Gandhi was highly respected throughout the world. For his non-violence movement, he was recognized throughout the world. Wherever I go, I saw the Mahatma Gandhi's statues. You can see statues in different countries, Brisbane, Australia, and Cyprus in Parliament, and Manchester, UK. Many people are throwing flowers on Mahatma Gandhi statue. You can just see how Mahatma Gandhi was very popular. Even in a small country like Panama, Republic of Panama, I was there for several times in Panama. You can see in the center town hall near Panama City on the top left, Mahatma Gandhi statue was kept in the Panama City. And the Indian Embassy in Republic of Panama was actually, the Mahatma Gandhi statue was there. University of Panama has got a Mahatma Gandhi statue. And director of the Institute Indicasat Panama, who was also from India, he has actually introduced Gandhian thought course in University of Panama in collaboration with the Indian Embassy. This was a small country where not even 10 lakhs population, 20 lakh population are there. Republic of Panama actually well known for Panama Canal. How they are following the Gandhian ideology in that place. You can just have it, because I visited there, I saw that particular place. I want to show and share with all of you. Salute to real heroes of Indian independence. Thank you very much. And Ministry of Education, Government of India today has released this education is the realization of the best in the man, body, soul and spirit. Remembering Mahatma Gandhi on his birthday today. So we have to remember this. Thanks to all for your patient listening and giving me an opportunity to speak on this occasion. Though I am not an expert and qualified to talk about Mahatma Gandhi, but I tried my level best to give my opinions about Mahatma Gandhi on this day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really interesting and very insightful. And thank you for enlightening us on Gandhi's life right from the time as a barrister who fought against injustice and exploitation of the Indians in South Africa during the period between 1893 and 1914, right to the origin of Satyagraha. Thank you for highlighting the importance of the establishment of a communal living community called the Phoenix Settlement, which are set up into practice the values of self-help, dignity of labor, and simplicity. And also for highlighting the fact that Mizoram is actually reflecting the ideology of Mahatma Gandhi. Thank you so much, sir. I now request Dr. Deepak Bhagat to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Bresi, ma'am. Respected Chief Guest, Professor K.R.S. Sambasiva Rao, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Mizoram University, Professor G. Singhaya, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Nihutura Campus, our resource person, Professor N.V.R. Jyoti Kumar from Mizoram University, faculties, students and staff of Mizoram University, faculty, students and staff of NIHU, the always encouraging and supporting non-teaching staff of Tura Campus, distinguished guests, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. A very good afternoon to all of you, and thank you all of you for joining us in Mahatma Gandhi Jayanti celebrations. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks speech and acknowledge the contributions of those who worked really hard to make this celebration happen. We are honored by the presence of Professor K.S. Sambasiva Rao, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Mizoram University. Sir, thank you for being the chief guest of this celebration and delivering a thoughtful and insightful special lecture. We fully appreciate you finding the time to be with us despite your tight schedule. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Professor G. Singhaya, Pro Vice Chancellor, Nihutura Campus, who is the source of inspiration behind this program. In fact, it is his idea to invite eminent personalities and organize special lectures. Sir, the campus acknowledges your vision and ability to initiate new programs. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
On
you,
behalf
sir.
of the campus, I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to Professor N.V.R. Jyoti Kumar, Mizoram University. Sir, your thoughts have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. Thank you very much, sir. I am immensely thankful to the students and staff of Mizoram University, faculty, students and staff of Nihudura campus, faculties of Mizoram University, non-teaching staff of Nihudura campus, distinguished guests, for finding time to be with us and making this program a grand success. Thank you, everybody. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. L.K. Gracie, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Nihutura campus, for all her help and encouragement in making this program successful and hosting this program in such a wonderful and nice way. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to thank the people who have worked behind the scene to make this event happen. My thanks go to Dr. Sunindra L.S. Akoijam for making the essay competition on NAP 2020 possible. He is also looking after all the technicalities of hosting this program along with Mr. Tikendra. Thank you, both of you. With this, I would like to thank each and every one of you for gracing this occasion. Thank you, Mithila. Jai Hind.
Thank you all, sir. All, sir, Jyoti Kumar, sir, Patnaik,
Thank you,
Suri,
sir. Thank you very much.
all
Yeah.
of- Thank you, thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Okay,
I'm
as we
delighted.
come, as we come to the end of this program and start off with the 151st birth celebration of Mahatma Gandhi, I think we should keep in mind what Jawaharlal Nehru had mentioned in 1948, that though the Mahatma may not be with us today, but the light that has illumined the country for these many years, illumine this country for many more years. And 1,000 years later, that light will be seen in this country, and the world will see it, and it will give solace to innumerable hearts. I thank each and every one of you for being here with us on this auspicious occasion. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Nageshan, sir, namaste. Namaste, namaste, namaste.